Hello again, everybody. Along with Joe Simpson, Skip Carey, welcoming you to another day of Atlanta Braves baseball from the stadium as the Braves and Expos wind up a series and a homestand. Neither the series nor the homestand has gone the way the Braves have wanted. Steve Avery on the mound for Atlanta today. Jeff Fassero will pitch for the Montreal team, a battle of left-handers. And, Joe, let's face it, on this homestand, the Braves have just played awful baseball.
And coming off that road trip, you thought the team was really motivated to come home and play well, Skip. It hasn't been the case. Started in the Philadelphia series. Here's a play where Ron Gant was doubled off of second base when he was in scoring position. And other mistakes on the infield. Rare mistakes, albeit, but mistakes nonetheless that really cost the Braves a lot of runs. An overthrow there by Lemke. And last night really, I guess, kind of summed it all up and the problems on this homestand with the botched rundown play. The Braves got a break with the ball coming back to Berryhill, but then they couldn't get Grissom between second and third. He was safe. In fact, everybody was safe. Runners at first and second. That led to 2 runs for Montreal. Then the collision in the outfield. Now, that's going to happen once in a while. But what really is a little bit disturbing, I think, is given the errors and the mistakes that lead to runs, I think you talk about the way the guys are going about their business. Here, a walk rather to Ken Hill, the pitcher, by Kent Merker, but not really a time to be laughing for this ball club when they cannot seem to make up any ground on the San Francisco Giants. The ball club's going to have to start playing better if they have any chance at all in the last 50 games.
10 games out on the lost side and running out of time. Back with the starting lineups, the play-by-play story right after this.
Well, we got a few clouds overhead for the start of today's action here in Atlanta as the Atlanta Braves take the field. But the forecast says that we're going to have no trouble getting this game in today. And the first game of the day started down on the field a little bit earlier with the annual Father's game. The Fathers are now 0-27 here in Atlanta against the kids. Young man stepping up the plate there, Sid Bream's son. I believe that's Michael Robert Bream. He got himself a base hit, but final score once again, kids 28, Fathers nothing. Braves will try to salvage a split of the doubleheader. Here's the lineup, the Napa starting lineup for the Montreal Expos. Delano DeShields will lead it off, followed by Sean Berry and Marquise Grissom. Larry Walker will be the cleanup hitter. Moise Alou in left field. Will Cordero, Derek White, Joe Siddle, and then Jeff Fassero round out the Expo lineup. The defense for the Braves in the outfield, Gant, Nixon, and Justice. On the infield, Pendleton, Blauser, Lemke, and McGriff from third to first. Greg Olson behind the plate, and Steve Avery makes his 24th start of the year. He has 1 complete game shutout to his credit. His ERA a little bit over 3. He lost his last start on August 3rd to Philadelphia. Went 7 innings, gave up 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 were earned, and he walked 3 that game. But remember, that was a game with Larry Vanover behind the plate, and the game in which Bobby Cox was ejected, arguing balls and strikes after it appeared that maybe Steve Avery was not getting the benefit of some close calls. Braves in desperate need of a win. Good win, a bad win, doesn't matter. Just a win to salvage 2 games on this homestand. We talked about that in the opening comments, but after a 9-2 road trip, the Braves thought they might come home and really work over 2 of the top teams in the East. Umpires for today's ball game: behind the plate, Rich Rieker; at first base, Bob Davidson; Billy Hahn at second; Larry Poncino will be at third. The Braves 32-24 at home, 33-23 on the road, so they're now playing better baseball on the road. Hopefully today they can climb 9 games over 500 at home, and now it seems we're waiting for Delano DeShields, who is not yet out with a bat or a helmet. Steve Avery is ready to go.
And DeShields now makes his way. Oh, no, he doesn't. He's wandering through the dugout. And any moment now will make his appearance. Delano has not yet entered the arena. Coming up in New York, it'll be Tom Glavine against Eric Hillman on Tuesday night. Greg Maddux against Sid Fernandez on Wednesday. And John Smoltz and Dwight Gooden will pitch on Thursday. And then the Braves head to Cincinnati for 3 games before returning home. We will televise Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for you. 2 from Cincinnati and 2 from New York. DeShields in this series, 2 out of 9, 2 runs scored. He's driven in 1. He's hitting at even 300. He has 33 stolen bases on the year. And we're about to get underway. None of the other baseball has yet commenced. Avery 1-0 this year, but just 1-4 lifetime against Montreal. A high earned run average, 4.85. DeShields stands right on top of the plate, and we're underway. First pitch, fly ball, center field. Nixon comes on. He's there, 1 out. DeShields pops to center, 1 away. Here's Sean Berry, 0 for 4 in the series. He's scored a run, overall hitting .256. The Expos have not gotten the production they hoped they would get out of third base this year, as Berry and Frank Bullock have tried to fill the shoes of Tim Wallach. Avery into the wind. He delivers right through there. It's 0-1. 1 out, nobody aboard. The crowd, by Atlanta standards, a slim one on this muggy Sunday. A ball and a strike to count.
In defense of Berry and Bullock a little bit, the fact that this is their first full years in the big leagues after spending a lot of time in the minor leagues, maybe next year will be a different story for them.
That ball's hit hard. Lemke boots it. And Berry, a wide turn, but he stays at first. Let's see how they score it. It should be an error, and it is. E4. There's another one for the highlight reel.
Hit it off the end of the bat, a soft liner. Mark was in a good position to make the play, but was getting ready to throw before he caught it.
Marquise Grissom, the batter, hitting at .287. Lemke, the ball might have gone right through the webbing of his glove. That might be why he missed it. Yeah, it looks like the webbing.
Yeah, that's right.
That's still an error, but you can charge it on the equipment more than anything else. That's where you're supposed to catch the ball, but the leather is supposed to hold.
I'm sure one of the bat boys has run up the tunnel to get him another glove in the meantime. Oh. Good try, Jeff. Jeff Porter offered him a catcher's glove.
Yeah, you can't really. That is an error on Lemke, but it's understandable now. He stuck his glove right where it was supposed to be. So a runner at first and 1 out for Marquise Grissom, who's having a career in this series. Normally, like most guys playing before the home folks, he struggles in Atlanta, but not this trip. 6 out of 10. He's scored 2 runs, driven home 2, including the game winner last night when he ripped that double to right center.
That's right. The last time they were in town, he didn't get a base hit until the last game of the series in about his 3rd at bat. Braves controlled him pretty well.
Snap throw to first. Berry is back easily. If he'd have been picked off, he would have been a blue Berry. But he made it back okay. Let up is low.
We've been talking all year about how Steve's success has been complemented by the fact that he doesn't walk too many people, but also when he does get some runners on, he's able to get the ground ball, especially of late. 11 double plays turned for him in the last 5 starts.
Snap throw to first, runner back. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. Runner at first, 1 out, top of the first. Braves and Expos meeting. But not for the final time. We have 3 up there, the second to last week of the season. Go to Montreal and Philadelphia on our last road trip of the year. Again, Berry is back easily. In the Atlanta dugout, there might be some attempts to razz Berry. The stretch. Don't look at me like that. Strike called, outside corner. It's 1-1.
One thing Steve Avery and Greg Olson are going to have to do is work closely to try to hold base runners at first base the way the Expos like to run, and given Avery's high leg kick, they've got to try a few throws over there, and Avery's quick snap throw over there has been very effective for him.
There's that throw that Joe's talking about. But Berry is back easily. He's 7 out of 9 in the stolen base department.
Any chance of getting through the day today without a balk?
Oh, I would think there's a chance today after the macho balk late in last night's game. They play a little hit and run. Grissom had to chase a bad pitch and popped the foul. Dark clouds gathering at the ballpark. That's always good news. There's Balkaday Bob Davidson working at first today. He's a good umpire.
Yeah.
It's just that he interprets the balk rule apparently differently than do all the other umpires in the National League. He might be right. Everybody else might be wrong. And looking back as it works out, the balk didn't have anything to do with the outcome of the game anyway. Good play by Avery out there. Safe there. That ball could have been up the middle and into center field, except for the quick reaction by the Atlanta pitcher.
Mark Lemke covering on this play with a right-handed hitter up there. If it's Blauser covering, maybe his feed to Blauser enables him to get a little momentum to first base and get a little bit more on the throw. But Mark has to make the tag on the bag and then throw a little flat-footed and enable Grissom to beat it out.
Larry Walker is the banner. Grissom can run. He stole a couple here last night, has 27 on the year. He's a fine young player. Tried to stop his swing, fouled it off. It's 0-1. Well, our A2 here, that's TV talk for one of our TV crew. Pat Thornton and his wife Elizabeth celebrating a 6th anniversary today. We wish them many happy returns. What's an A2? Is that audio? Audio assist.
And a fine one at that, I might add.
Take the rest of the day off. The audio's working. The pitch, runner going, the throw. Low throw. He got in there. If the throw gets there, they've got him. But it didn't, and he's safe.
That's what I was talking about, trying to try a few things with these Expos runners, and they decided to pitch out. Grissom knew it and knew he was in a bit of trouble. But Greg Olson got way out in front on his front foot there before he released the baseball, and that caused him to throw low.
Walker hits it up the middle. Base hit. Here comes Grissom. Mixing up. He's got no shot. It's 1-0. Another 2-out hit. Walker 2/3 of the way to second. But there's nobody at first, so he trots back in. The stolen base pays off in a run. It's unearned, but it counts. And here's Moises Alou. This is vintage Montreal baseball. Grissom's speed beat a double play at first, stole second, and the 2-out hit from Walker.
And Larry Walker doesn't care if a guy's left-handed, right-handed, has an ERA of 3.09 or 10.09.
He, McGriff, and Justice might handle left-hand pitching as well as any, and Barry Bonds, of course, as any left-hand hitters in the league. Pitch out. Nothing going on. Walker has stolen 19 bases in 23 tries. You see the numbers on Alou. The 1-0 pitch. Instead to first. Walker hustles back. You talk to Braves players, they can't understand what's happened either. It's like the wheels have just totally come off. Again, a check swing, foul back.
When you think about it, on this homestand, pitching and defense have been the mainstays for the Braves championship runs the last 2 years, and that's really what's let them down in this homestand.
Not the starting pitching so much as some bullpen problems, and
right.
The defense has been a little rough. And now with Rafael Belliard hurting, it appears to us that Jeff Blauser desperately needs a day off. But Belliard's got a fractured finger he suffered during infield practice yesterday. He says it's better today, and they don't know how long he'll be out, and they're reluctant to disable him because he might be ready to go in 2 or 3 days. The 1-1 pitch. High and away, 2-1.
The air charge to Lemke, Skip, that apparently went through the web of his glove. The 7th error the Braves have committed in their last 4 games.
And that's not typical Atlanta Braves baseball the last several years.
Going against 2 good ball clubs, they generally make you pay for that.
Ground ball to short. Blauser on a funny hop makes the play, and the inning is over. He had to smother it against his chest, but he got the out, and the inning comes to a close. The run is unearned. It comes on 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left, bottom of the 1st. Montreal 1. Atlanta comes to bat.
We go to the bottom half of the 1st inning, and for the Atlanta Braves, the Napa starting lineup has Nixon, Blauser, and Gant the first 3, followed by McGriff, Pendleton, and Justice. Olson, Lemke, and Avery the bottom 3rd of the order. Defensively, the Expos have in the outfield Alou, Grissom, and Walker. Sean Berry, Cordero, DeShields, and Derek White on the infield. Behind the plate is Joe Siddle. And Jeff Facero, 30 years old, out of the University of Mississippi, makes only his 6th start of the year, but great numbers. And his ERA as a starter, his first 5 starts, is under 1.
Facero deals. First pitch swinging. Grounder short. Cadero's throw. Low throw. Nixon safe. E6. Maybe we've contaminated this field. Montreal starts the game with an error.
Cordero threw this one a little bit like Blauser did last night. A sidearm delivery. And it sinks on White. He can't come up with it. Neither team took infield practice, I don't believe, due to the father, sons, and daughters game.
Blauser 1 for 8 in the series. His average at 291. Shortened a bunt. Took it outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Nixon 24 of 30 in the stolen base department. These 2 teams have split in 8 meetings so far this year. No balk. He's safe. One and 0 the count. A lot of empty seats here today. It's a hot one. Facero delivers, and there's a strike on the corner. It's 1-1.
The error by Cordero, I guess, in keeping with the way he's been playing since the All-Star break. Part of that due, I think, to a wrist injury that he's been trying to get over. He's been sitting out a few games to try to get the wrist healed. But that throw a little low.
Facero gets ready to first. Nixon back easily. The throw is a bad one. White was able to flag it down. Brian Hickerson pitches for the Giants later today. Mark Portugal for Houston in the final game of their series. Cincinnati goes into San Francisco tomorrow night through Wednesday night. And then the Giants go to Chicago and Pittsburgh. They've got a pretty good schedule the rest of the way. They play 3 with the Reds, 3 with the Cubs, 3 with the Pirates, 3 with the Marlins, 3 with us, 3 more with the Marlins, 3 with us. Then they're at St. Louis. Then they have Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Chicago at home. Go to Cincinnati and Houston. Runner goes. He's safe. Play at home to the Padres in Colorado and then ended in Los Angeles.
Great jump, almost a walking jump for Otis. Not much chance for the rookie catcher to throw him out. And that sidewinder headfirst slide by Otis gets him in there.
1-2 the count on Jeff Blauser. There's still nobody out here in the bottom of the 1st. Looped into short center field. Grissom comes on, and there's where that shallow play in center field pays off. A normal center fielder, that ball's got a great chance to drop for a blue pit. But not against this guy. One down, and the runner's still at second.
And I think most base runners would recognize that that ball's going to drop and take off for third. But Otis Nixon knows how shallow his former teammate plays and made sure that it was going to drop before he took off.
In fact, Otis can thank guys like Grissom and Larry Wonker. It was their emergence in Montreal that convinced the Expos that it would be okay to trade the veteran Nixon, which really helped Atlanta. Ron Gant takes it down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner at second, 1 away. Montreal leads it 1-0, bottom of the first. I thought Marvin Freeman had good stuff today in that kids game, but
I thought so too, but
got cuffed around pretty good.
Apparently he was throwing at a couple of hitters too after that. No one would charge the mound.
I forget who it was, but several years ago when Pete Smith was a young pitcher, right at the end of the game, I forget whose son it was, but they had it set up in advance. Pete threw at him, and he did charge the mound, and all the other kids followed him and leaped on Pete Smith, and the crowd went crazy. A ball and a strike to count. Nixon at second with 1 down. DeShields in behind the runner, the old fake from Facero, but no throw forthcoming. McGriff on deck for Atlanta. Facero out of Springfield, Illinois, into the dirt. He features a fastball, a slider, and a forkball in his repertoire.
He's got a good forkball. Part of why the opponent's average against him this year is only .211.
He participated as a kid in something called the Corey League, which is very big in the Midwest and St. Louis, Springfield, that part of the country. The 2-1 to Gant. Here it is. Swung, high pop, short center field. Here comes Grissom again. He can't make the catch, but Nixon has to go back to second base. Thinking that Grissom would make the catch, Otis was trotting back to second, and by the time the ball dropped and it goes for the hit, he had no choice but to stay there.
And I think from Otis's perspective, he couldn't tell right away that Grissom didn't make the catch. He had Grissom between Otis and the ball. Right here, he didn't know that he didn't have it. And had Grissom made the catch, Otis was fearful that he would make a quick short throw to second and double him off.
And again, the way he positions himself saves them at least a base.
That was not poor base running.
What a weird inning this one is turning out to be. McGriff takes a breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1. Two on, 1 out. Everybody buzzing about the ball McGriff hit last night. Everybody thought that ball was going to get out of here. But it seemed to just die as it got to the outfield. A good play by Siddle. It's slow and inside. A ball and a strike.
It seemed like he had a little top spin on it. It was a high fastball from Wetland, and he actually got on top of it a little bit, almost like a top spin hit with a tennis ball, because it seemed to have a little hump back in it and was beginning to come down.
And if Montreal had been playing their outfielders like they are now, that ball's up against the wall and we have a tie game. Ground ball to second might be a double play. He's out there. Gant ran out of the baseline. He's out 4 unassisted. Throw to first to White for the double play. The inning is over. The crowd boos, but they should not. There wasn't much doubt about it. At the end of an inning, Montreal leads it 1-0. We go to the second inning, and Cordero takes a strike. One and one.
That played in the bottom half of the first inning, really not excessively out of the baseline, but to avoid the tag enough for second base umpire Billy Hahn. And Bobby Cox was out perhaps arguing that point with first base umpire and crew chief Bob Davidson, wondering if he may have been a little bit exaggerated on his call on Gant.
The 1-2 pitch now to Cordero as Avery works extremely quickly today. It's still 1-2. You can almost see what Bobby was saying, and it was a point you made up here. If you were trying to go to third on a triple, you would run even wider than that to round second base. Right off the end of the bat to McGriff. That'll be easy. Cordero is out of there, one away, and Derek White, the batter.
I think it just boils down to trying to avoid a tag. You're only given 3 feet of leeway there from the baseline to avoid the tag, and I'm sure that Gant exceeded that.
You really don't fault Gant for that. The only thing he might have done is slam on the brakes and run back toward first. Then they throw to first, and they've got him in a rundown, so he's in deep trouble either way. White 1 for 5 in the series, and with that hit drove in a big run the other night. Avery looks good here. An unearned run has him behind, and the unearned run was really nobody's fault except equipment. A ground ball went through the webbing of Mark Lemke's glove. Chop to third. Pendleton fields. 2 down. And here's Joe Siddle, the young catcher.
Avery's got a good fastball today, and he's using it to get in on the hands of these hitters. Cordero and White both were jammed.
So Siddle stands in. Avery, it's a very hot and muggy day here. He's working more quickly than normal. I think his theory is, let's get out here, get him out, get back in to where the fans are. Fly ball fouled on the left side, 0-1. Two out, nobody aboard. It's 1-0 Montreal. It eludes Olson all the way to the screen. A ball and a strike. Siddle, a Canadian native. The 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. Look out over on the on-deck circle. He almost picked off his starting pitcher.
Kind of tough when you get a start as a rookie and it comes against one of the better left-handers in the league when you're a left-handed hitter.
Yeah, they could use a right-hand bat behind the plate. Strike 3 called. Inning over. Siddle do it. Avery records his first strikeout. He breezes through the second. We go to the bottom half of the frame with your score. Montreal 1 and Atlanta 0.
We go to the bottom half of the second inning. This telecast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club and is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
Bottom half of the second inning, Terry Pendleton will lead it off for Atlanta. Pendleton, Justice, and Olson will be the first 3 for the Atlanta team. A muggy afternoon in Atlanta. Big crowd is on hand. Braves go away for a week. Come back for only a 3-game series with the Dodgers Tuesday the 17th, Wednesday the 18th, Thursday the 19th. Then we go to Chicago and New York. Then the Cubs and Giants are in, 3 games each, along with the Padres. And by then we'll be to September 6th. Jeff Facero ready to go to work. They expect 6, maybe 7 innings out of him, and then they hope for help from their bullpen.
The most pitches he has thrown in a start has been 99 pitches, and that was in his last start.
He's done a remarkable job for them. Pendleton shortened a bunt, took it high. 1 ball, no strikes.
that start. He beat the Mets 3-1, 7 1/3 innings, 7 hits, and only 1 run allowed.
What was wrong with that? I wonder if Pendleton isn't bothering the umpire when he shortens a bit. 2-0. See if he does it again here. Oh, he just took it high. 3 balls, no strikes. Facero, upset with himself, turns his back on home plate. There's a strike. It's 3-1. Facero from Abe Lincoln's hometown, Springfield, Illinois.
You can see there's his ERA I was telling you about. That's under 1 as a starter. Wasn't too shabby as a reliever either.
3-2 the count. He keeps pitching like he is, they'll be erecting a monument to him in Montreal. He has been terrific. His payoff pitch. High fly down the right side. Walker a long way to run into foul territory. Good catch. Boy, he is some player. Fighting the bullpen, fighting the sun, fighting the fence, but he made the catch nonetheless. Went away.
He knew he was closing in on the mound, and he had to make an adjustment just as he gets to the foul line here. Ran right along the back slope of the mound to make that catch.
David Justice, the batter, 266 on the year, 0 for 7 in the series. David had been a red-hot hitter till Montreal came to town. See if he can get it cranked up here. Breaking ball for a strike. Justice didn't think so. Thought it was low. It's 0-1. The bottom dropped out of that forkball. It's 0-2. The count. There's 1 out here. Or in TV talk, that's 0-2-1. Now it's 0-3-2. First strikeout for Facero.
Here's the breaking ball. Going down and away from David. Excellent spot when he's ahead in the count, trying to get him to chase a pitch out of the zone, and he did.
Greg Olson, the batter. We thought a few nights ago that he was going to be the catalyst of the '93 season when he hit that dramatic 3-run homer to beat the Phillies. We haven't won a game since. Ground ball. Cordero, outstanding play, but he beats the wrap. See if it goes into the dugout. Nope. He has to stay at first base. An infield hit for Olson. Once it got by the third baseman Barry, you figured you were in good shape.
But with the strong arm of Cordero, you're never quite sure. Watch how he throws this across his body, looking at the third base bag, and almost got it there on the fly to White.
Mark Lemke, the batter. Mark hitting .274. As we've been telling you all year, he's been a much more productive hitter right-handed. .343 with 5 homers and 102 at-bats. A little bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Facero has given up just 4 home run balls all year long. Into the dirt. Siddle blocks it. 2-0 the count on the 8th place hitter.
Also talked about this ball club against left-handed starters and their production. Mark Lemke right in there with the big guys. 4th on the team in power figures, and actually has fewer at-bats.
Steve Avery waits to hit next. Throw to first, runner back. Cleveland got 2 in the first at Baltimore today. The Orioles batting now. Boston failed to score in the first at Detroit. There's a strike on the outside corner at the knees. 2-1 now. That evens it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's got good movement on his fastball. We showed you the slider that he threw David Justice. His forkball goes down, but even his fastball is moving all over the place. That's why you're seeing a few of the right-handed hitters hit the ball off the end of the bat.
Olsen a short lead. You don't figure him to be going anywhere. Just missed inside. Full count now, so Greg will run on the 3-2 pitch. Braves 0-2-1. Expos 1-1-1. And we're in the second. There goes the runner. Line drive. Center field. Grissom is there, and the inning is over. So Lemke hit it hard, but out. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 2, Montreal leads it 1-0.
1-0 our score. We go to the top half of the 3rd inning, and coming up tonight at 8 o'clock on TNT, the Chicago Bears will take on the Philadelphia Eagles as the NFL on TNT kicks off its 4th season. The stadium show follows the game, and it starts at 8 o'clock tonight. The NFL on TNT. Good matchup too. The Bears without Mike Ditka. Kind of hard to imagine.
We go to the 3rd inning here. That'll be easy. 1 down. Boy, those alert guys down in the tunnel. For the 2nd time today, they've said that I have to move my car. My car's been gone for a half hour. My wife took it home. Get a life down there. Here's Delino DeShields, and the pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes.
They just figure it's you.
Unless Paul erected it, that's always a possibility. Then it would probably be in the way. A ball and a strike to count. That's not those guys. They're out of here. High pop left side. Gant a long run, but he pulls up. He knows he has no chance. I think it's all those fumes those guys have to inhale down there. They get a little goofy.
Could be. It's only about 170 degrees in there.
That's as close to purgatory as I hope I ever get. Although.
By the way, I have an injury update to pass along to some people.
The 1-2 pitch. Here it is.
The other night during the power outage, for those that were concerned, the young man who ran out onto the field made a spectacle of himself. He's expected to get out of the hospital any day now.
The 1-2 pitch. Line, good job of hitting. Just reached out and served it into left field. So a fast man is at first with 1 out. DeShields has 33 steals. And Sean Berry is the batter. Plus, my car was parked right where T. Herman Graves, the man who runs the stadium, told me to park it. So how can they be bugging me? Here's Berry. Reached on an error his first time.
DeShields did one of those classic jobs of fouling off all the tough pitches and then got one he could just slap for the hit. What you like to see a leadoff man be able to do is just put the ball in play when he's behind in the count.
He's still a very young player, DeShields, and he's already a very good one. He's cut his strikeouts down. He has 53 this year and 410 at-bats. He's not going to get to that 100 mark. There he goes. A perfect throw would not have had him. His 34th stolen base. You know, that's the thing. Well, first the replay.
Great jump, huge lead, was leaning towards second. I'm surprised Steve didn't notice that and throw over, and he swiped it easily. No chance for Greg.
The difference in teams, the Braves, except for Nixon or Sanders, for the most part wait for the long ball because of their team. But a team like the Cardinals or this Montreal team on the corner, so many of their guys are so fast, they beat out a bunt. It's like a double, so it's like playing long ball. Barry hit the ground ball that went through the webbing of Lemke's glove to set up their run in the first. There he goes. They got a shot at him here. Yes. Good throw by Olson. Good tag by Pendleton.
Perfect throw. Absolutely perfect. Watch how quick Greg gets rid of this ball. Of course, he has a good line on DeShields running, and he puts it right on top of the bag for Pendleton to drop the glove on him. Good call by Poncino.
Barry had a good cut, but he fouled it back. So the runner is out of scoring position, and the count is 2-2.
You're talking about the pressure they put on you with their speed, Skip, and that, to me, that goes back to on-base percentage. These guys figure out a way to get on so that they can steal and get one run in. They really don't play for big innings. Here's the tag again. Glove down there just ahead of the hand.
Hit to third. Pendleton gloves it. Barry runs well. Bad throw. Good play. McGriff inning over. One hit, no runs, no errors, none left. We go to the bottom half of the third inning with your score. Montreal 1, Atlanta nothing. There's the story of the game as we go to the bottom of the third. There's the Braves' happiest concession lady. She dances up a storm here at the ballpark. And Steve Avery leads it off in the third.
She's in the right area of concession sales. Hot dogs.
Yes, that's right. One ball, no strikes. Avery, Nixon, Blauser for Atlanta in the third inning. No score in New York where the Pirates are playing. They've gone through an inning. Albert Bell, by the way, hit a two-run sacrifice fly today against Baltimore.
Is that right?
Yeah, the right fielder made the catch against the wall, sort of stumbled, and 2 runs came around and scored. On the inside corner.
Well, he's having a great year.
Yeah.
He's gotten straightened out a little bit.
2-2. Clouding up here at the ballpark, but we have hundreds of episodes of All in the Family standing by. The 2-2 pitch. Hit up the middle. Cordero fields. Sidearms the throw again. Close play, but he's out. 1 down. Otis Nixon, the batter.
Take another look at this, at how Cordero takes his time on a slow roller. Went just off the tip of Facero's glove. And almost a submarine delivery. You can see how quickly that ball drops off when it gets to the bag.
Yeah, he's throwing him a sinker. He's not making it easy for his first baseman. Otis chops it foul. He reached on an error his first time.
To emphasize what I was talking about with the on-base percentage in the top of the inning, DeShields with a .390 on-base percentage, Grissom .344, Walker .381. Those guys all run very well. Otis Nixon and Deion Sanders. Otis at .312, Sanders at .306.
Yeah, both have had off years. There's no doubt about it. A ball and a strike. Otis took it high. It's 2-1.
And when you think about it, that's really along with Ron Gant, who's not running as much as he did a couple of years ago, those are the only two guys who really have much team speed.
The 2-1 pitch. It's high, and it's 3-1. Another point, Len Dykstra, 92 walks this year. The tandem of Nixon and Sanders have 45 in the leadoff spot for Atlanta, so twice as many for the Philadelphia leadoff man. Right through there, 3-2.
Otis and Dion don't strike out that much and huge amount in terms of putting the ball in play, but that's where it's really helped DeShields, is that he has put it in play more often. He's been more patient at the plate, and he's been on more.
And a good eye by Nixon. Make that 46 walks in combination. So Otis is on there again. He stole a base his first time. That's Facero's first walk, and that's the last man in the Atlanta lineup he wanted to give a walk to. Jeff Blauser, the batter. He flied to short center his first time. 1-0 Montreal. That's our score. Otis now 25 out of 31 swiping bases. To first. Wild throw. Nixon's going to wind up at third base. And maybe then some. He's around third. And they're going to send him back to second base. I don't know why. Let's see what this is about. It went under the tarp. But he makes third easily, whether it goes under the tarp or not.
The letter of the law might be, though, where he would have wound up had the ball been retrieved. It almost hit Bob Davidson as it gets by White, and then it lodged under the tarp. And he can't get it.
Let's look at this again.
It was not fan interference. A lot of times the call hinges on where the player in the umpire's judgment would have wound up had a fan not interfere with the ball. But this was an equipment, and this goes into ground rules.
Al Galima, an old pitcher from the University of South Carolina, tells us that if you don't break contact with the rubber, it's one base when the ball is lodged in the equipment like that.
That's correct.
And if you had broken contact and threw it, then it's two bases. So I guess that's the rule of thumb that they're using. It's sort of a silly rule. You would think common sense could enter into play on something like that. But it's almost the same thing as the double on artificial turf that bounces over the wall. Even though you know the runner from first could have scored, they send him back to third. So there's a tough break for Atlanta. Though there's a good break, they get the runner in the scoring position. What else is going to happen in this series?
This homestand.
There he goes to third.
Justice is served.
No, it's Blauser hitting, but
Otis, the beneficiary.
so now the tying run is at third, and the infield stays back. Two balls, no strikes.
Fly ball gets him home, but not the type of fly ball he hit in the first inning. It was very shallow, and the way Grissom plays, he would have his momentum easily behind him as he tried to make a throw to home plate, and he's got a good arm.
Three and 0. Facero has been pitching extremely well, but he's in trouble here, and his control has been the culprit, both to the plate and to first base. Blauser thought that was a strike. So did Facero. First and third, one out.
He was taking all the way. Braves wanted to get another base runner on there. That pitch was too high. Didn't come back quite as well as he wanted, despite him thinking it was a strike.
Pitching coach Jeff Corrigan goes to the mound. Joe Corrigan, rather, to talk with Jeff Facero, and I'm sure he's telling him, you got to forget about that, Yo-Yo. Just make good pitches.
I think Otis distracted him a little bit when he threw the wild pitch. He took a long look back at Otis. They weren't holding him at second base like they did in the first inning, where DeShields was camped out on the bag, and Facero in his stretch a long time before he threw the wild pitch, and the error, then the wild pitch, perhaps distracting him a little bit, that led to the walk.
Ron Gant blooped a single to short center his first time, and he bats here.
I always like to hit in these spots. When you know a pitcher was rattled a little bit, he had made a mistake that hurt himself, you're more prone to give you a good pitch to hit here.
Ron waits and takes a strike. Something off speed. It's 0-1. First and third, one out. Infield back, hopeful of a double play. That's possible with Gant hitting, but not likely. He can really run. His speed gets lost in the equation because of his great strength, his power. The runner is edge away. He foul tipped that ball. It's 0-2. And this is a spot where Facero is looking for a strikeout.
Those were two great breaking balls. They weren't sliders. They were more like curveballs that went down. He does have a fork ball, as we told you. That last pitch may have been a fork ball. The one before it was not.
Gant stands back in. To first. Surprised he bothered to throw over there the way things worked out the last time he tried it, but he did, and without incident. Facero gets ready. The 0-2. He broke contact, faked the throw to first. Bob Davidson sort of peering around the corner over there, thought about it, but didn't call it. I'll tell you what, I would change my pitching pattern. When this guy umpired, I wouldn't do anything fancy at all, because you know he's looking to call one. He puts his signature on the game that way. Inside to Gant, it's 1-2.
But you're right. You know, in one respect, maybe his interpretation of what a balk is may be the right one.
But if somebody was in charge of the umpires outside of their union boss, they'd all have a little meeting and get on the same page. But
Right.
This has been going on for ever since Bob's been in the league. Didn't mean to. Little dribbler. Here comes Nixon. A run is in. Gant is out. That's not the most wicked RBI that Ron Gant has ever gotten. He's hitting the ball a little harder than that, but he'll take it. The game is tied.
Accomplished two things. Got a run home, got another runner into scoring position on a check swing. I thought for a second White might come home right away, but he elected just to take the one out.
And again, the speed of Otis Nixon pays off just about any other Atlanta runner, and they've got a shot at the plate. Here's Fred McGriff. He hit into a double play his first time. Braves have tied it here, 1-1. Our offense in this inning consists of a walk, an air, a wild pitch, and a ground ball that rolled about 35 feet, but we've tied the game.
Another part about that run scoring is that Otis's great reactions to the ball, too.
Breaking ball sweeps outside. It's 1-1. He is not faster than Deion Sanders. He is a better base runner, and the reason for that is he's played baseball his whole life. Deion, of course, has not and is still learning. 1-1. High fly ball left field, but it's catchable. Alou is there. Glass is gleaming, and the inning is over. The Braves get a run without benefit of a hit. There was a costly error and a runner left. At the end of 3, it's a strange game in Atlanta, and it's tied 1-1. We go to the 4th inning here. Marquise Grissom fouls that one off his foot. It's 0-1. Ooh, boy.
What's up?
Perry Mason flick tonight. Great. Case of the lethal lesson. 7 o'clock on TBS. He's my all-time favorite. As pictured here. That was sort of an unauthorized promo. I did that one on my own. There'll be a meeting about that, I'm sure. A ball and a strike to count.
I've always said you had production skills.
I do, yeah. 4 kids. Strike call. 1-2. Ground ball foul. Grissom his first time. Hit into a force play. Stole second and scored on Larry Walker's solid single to center. Steve Areno is ready and cuts it loose. Broken bat roller to third. Pendleton up. Got him by a step. 1 down. Grissom is retired. Avery looks good here, and Larry Walker, the batter, as we said, singled in a run his first time. Didn't get the low fastball. 0-1.
We talked about the similarities between these two teams before the series started. Now only 5 wins separate them. One's 9.5 out. One's 10 games back. They are a formidable opponent for anybody.
Curve grounded foul past first base coach Louis Pujols. Jerry Manuel coaches at third.
Another one of those swift catchers coaching first.
Yeah, Louis just missed the inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He got him. But Walker, you see, he gets good swings. He struck him out, but he didn't get cheated up there against the left-hander. Strikeout number 2 for Steve.
Some high fastballs have been very effective for Steve today. Here's another one. He jammed Grissom with one, and he had a couple of jam shots in the 2nd inning that resulted in outs. He's got some good life on his fastball today.
Alou out in front on an off-speed breaking ball. By rights, the Braves, well, by rights it should be 0-0, but the Montreal run really tainted. A ground ball went through the glove of second baseman Mark Lemke. Just ripped the webbing right out of it. And that, of course, was charged in air. Both runs in the game unearned. Started to go. Butt held up, then did a dance across home plate.
Looks like Mark's already had the glove that he started the game with repaired. He's got it on out there right now.
Grounded foul past third base.
Some quick repair work by Jeff Porter, Dave Pursley, the rest of the clubhouse staff to get that one ready for him.
Casey Stevenson probably involved in the surgery as well. A little pop, short right center field. Justice is there, and a very easy inning for Avery as he pitches through the heart of the order. No hits, no runs, no errors, none left. We go to the bottom half of the fourth inning with your score. Atlanta 1, Montreal 1.
We're tied as we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning here in Atlanta, and some more baseball coming your way on Tuesday from Shea Stadium right here on TBS. Airtime at 7:35 Eastern time, and then on Wednesday for you folks in the Southeast, Sports South comes your way at 7:30. That'll be Ernie Johnson Sr. and Tommy John bringing all the action, and then we'll be back with you on Thursday
at 7:35 Eastern time. And the pitching pairings: Glavine and Eric Hillman on Tuesday, Maddox and Sid Fernandez Wednesday, Smoltz, Dwight Gooden Thursday. 1-1 our score. Montreal has won the first two games of the series. Better get your raincoats on. The radar says it's clear.
Good point.
A strike to Pendleton. Terry flied to right his first time. Minnesota got a run in the first against the Yankees. They're still batting. Terry, a big swing, but he was out in front.
That breaking ball accomplishes two things. One, it's got great movement on it. It's covering a lot of ground, but it's also a little bit slower than his fastball. Has the hitters fooled a little bit out on their front foot.
Struck him out.
Nasty.
That is his second strikeout of the day.
Breaking ball out over the plate right before this one, and then this one bites right in on his hands. Good pitching by Facero. That's why he's 7-1. Weird thing about it, when you look at his stats, though, skip the fact that he's had so many no decisions.
1-0 to Justice.
He won on July 23rd, and he won on August 3rd. But since June 14th, everything else, no decision, and that, of course, includes some relief appearances.
Justice rips it to right. That's into the corner. Can he get to? No. Look at that. Wow, what a play by Walker. And David Justice has good speed. Not great, but good speed. And he ran hard, but Walker played it perfectly and threw a strike.
Watch how David follows through on this swing, though. Pitch out away from him a little bit, stayed down on it, and then he has to regroup to get out of the box. He's not leaning out over the plate. Perfect carom for Walker, and a powerful arm.
Look how quickly he unloaded the ball, too. It was into his glove and on its way on a line within a split second.
Already had his body positioned in such a way that he just had to catch it and relay it, almost like a relay play as an infielder.
Mets and Pirates now 1-1 after 2. They're underway in St. Louis where the Cubbies are playing.
10 assists, near the top of the league.
Last year 16 assists for Larry Walker. Cito comes back, but I don't know why. It's about 10 rows back. Well, I do know why. He hasn't played in this ballpark much ever, so he's not really sure how much room he has. Runner at first, one down. The outfield plays Ole straight away. Upstairs, a ball and a strike.
Like David Justice and Derek White having a good chat at first base about that play by Walker and about wanting a double perhaps, but being smart enough to know that Walker's got that great arm.
Yeah, he would have been a dead man at second. Again, he breaks contact and fakes the throw.
And it's a very fine line there that you tread. You must step back first before you break your hands from the stretch. That's what Davidson's keeping an eye on.
He didn't get it. He's in the hole, 1-2. Joe Simpson, Skip Carey with you at the end of 4.5. Pete Van Weer and Don Sutton will join you and bring you the rest of the way on Braves TV. And it's another announcer shift Tuesday. Do you have any idea what's next?
No.
Foul tipped. Siddle hangs on. Olson is gone, and here's Lemke. Third strikeout.
I have a feeling I'll be working with Peter Don.
Yeah, and I'll probably be working with either Peter Don too. Probably be meetings about that on Monday. Lemke stands in. I think they should have their next production meeting in my car down in the tunnel, and they can all sit in there and watch it be towed off. Be a lot of fun for them. Throw to first, runner back.
It would be the meeting that never took place. You could just have them meet at your car, which is not even down there.
Yeah. There'll be a tow truck there nonetheless, though, just in case I pull in. Another throw gets away, but this one not far enough. Facero has much better control to the plate than he does to first base.
That's what's always struck me funny about pitchers fielding their positions. A lot of pitchers do a very good job, like Glavine, Maddox. Most of the Braves pitchers on the whole do a good job fielding their position, but sometimes when they become infielders, they can't make a straight throw to anybody. And that's how they make their living.
Lemke hit the ball hard his first time. He lined it to Grissom in center field. Two and 0. He'd like to get him here and lead off the next inning with a pitcher. Runner at first, 2 down. The outfield plays Lemke straight away. 3 balls, no strikes. It's funny. Facero looks so impressive for a while, and then it's like he all of a sudden loses his rhythm out there.
Well, he hasn't pitched too well out of the stretch today.
Maybe that's it.
And that may be it.
On 4 straight, he walks Lemke. So at the worst, you would figure Atlanta would, should Avery fail here, start the bottom of the 5th with the top of the order. 3 walks for Facero in the game.
It's almost like his timing, his rhythm is disrupted a little bit out of the stretch here in the first half of the ball game. He fell behind Avery the first time he pitched to him today, 2-0.
2 on, 2 out. That's right through there. 0-1. Detroit has taken a 1-0 lead over the Red Sox after 3 at Tiger Stadium. He went. It's 0-2.
Well, the Tigers were on top of the world for a couple of months, but they have sure gone the other way since.
If you rely solely on hitting, somewhere along the line, you're going to hit a huge bump.
They're now a game under 500, 8.5 games back at Toronto.
Struck him out. The inning is over. Got to throw him out. And the inning comes to a close, and despite the problems, Facero struck out the side. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, and 2 left. 4 innings have gone by with your score. Montreal 1, Atlanta 1. We go to the 5th inning. Will Cordero will lead it off. Right back to the mound. Avery up and throws. Got him. One away.
An update on some scores for you. They're tied at New York after an inning. Not yet underway in any of the other ball games except in the first inning at St. Louis. In the American League, Detroit has a home run from Cecil Fielder, his 27th of the year. McLemore has homered for Baltimore. Knobloch has homered for Minnesota. By the way, for New York, Domingo Jean, his friends call him Blue, on the mound for the Yankees. All the other games will get underway a little bit later.
Why would they call him Domingo Blue?
You'll figure it out later. Then laugh.
I bet I will. Oh. Strike call. Well, here's a name out of the past. Former Brave pitcher Preston Hanna's son Warren here at the ballpark rooting for the Braves. Preston still lives down in Pensacola, probably looking in today.
By the way, speaking of former Braves pitchers, Bruce Sutter still lives in the area, right? Out in Cobb County.
Yep.
And he was coaching a team of 13-year-olds who just won a national championship. The East Cobb Astros just won a national championship for their age group in a tournament out in McCook, Nebraska.
Well, congratulations to all of them, especially Bruce. Good pitch. It stays 1-2. Another former Braves twirler, Rick Camp, here at the ballpark today. Still, perhaps, not counting Henry Aaron, the most memorable home run in Atlanta Braves history. It's hit by Rick Camp of all people. Two balls, two strikes. That was in that July 4th marathon against the Mets. They went till 5 in the morning. He got him. Derek White is out of there. 2 down. Strikeout number 3 for Avery.
He has been dominating since the first inning. And really, as Skip has pointed out, that run a little bit tainted. It was unearned. He's allowed only 1 hit since the first, and that was that little flare to left field by Delino DeShields in the third.
Siddle, a strikeout victim his first time. Curve is low. It's 1-1.
Expos have used, to my recollection, 4 different catchers in the big leagues this year. Siddle, Fletcher, who we saw in the first 2 games of the series, Tim Laker, Tim Spear. Looking for somebody to jump in there and take over with the bat. They're all pretty good defensive catchers.
Fletcher's done all right with the bat as a left-hand hitter, but they could use a guy from the right side who can get it done. They keep thinking Laker's going to be that guy, but he hasn't been able to get over the hump. A ball and 2 strikes. The count on Siddle. Facero would be next. Sweeps outside. It's 2-2. He got him again, and the inning is over. Nothing doing in the 5th for Montreal. 1-2-3. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning with your score. Expos and Braves tied at 1.
When you left us last, it was 1-1. It still is. But beaten down here to take you the rest of the way, and it's been some pretty good left-handed pitching from these 2 guys, Pete.
Yeah, the game began a little sloppily. Some errors made early, but both pitchers have been able to settle down now, and we've got ourselves a pretty good duel going.
It's quite a change in roles for Facero. As a matter of fact, he's had trouble staying with the ball club for very long, but he's looked impressive as a starter.
Very unusual to see a guy come out of a short relief role like he was in and turn in such a consistently good performance as a starting pitcher.
He's allowed the Braves 3 base hits. Steve Avery, on the other hand, has given the Expos 2. The Expos got 1 in the first. The Braves answered with 1 in the third. It'll be Dixon leading it off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Nixon, Blauser, and Gann. Nixon has scored the only run. It was a gift. A walk, an error, a wild pitch got him to third, and a ground out got him home. First one to Nixon high, and it's 1-0. A lot of speculation in the area here that in some of the newspapers that Boston scouts might be here trying to rekindle the trade rumors earlier involving Boston and Otis Nixon. 2-0 to Otis. But according to John Sherholtz, that's not true.
And according to Boston scout Wayne Britton, he's just here to scout the Atlanta Braves and the Montreal Expos, something he does every year, scouting National League teams.
Nixon's taking all the way, and it's 2-1. Also today was the annual family game. Used to be called father-sons, but to be politically correct now, it is the Braves family game. Grounded to short. Cordero throws out Nixon, one gone. It's pretty good hitting down there, wasn't it?
Some very good hitting. Josh Carey had a double. Gabe Simpson had a double. Ned Yost's son, Ned. I think he had a triple. Kind of hard to keep track when there's 51 of them down there. Final score, by the way, was 51-0. Kids won.
That close, huh?
Yeah.
Blauser first pitch swinging, and it's 0-1. Anything other than...
Actually 50-0, because there was one youngster down there, Ryan Olson, Greg's son, who wanted no part of the game. All he wanted was a ride on Ed Mangan's ground crew tractor. He was determined, and he got one.
1-1 to Blauser. Ryan Olson will be doing John Deere commercials starting tomorrow. Blauser flied to center his first time up. He walked in the third inning. Jeff takes it down and in, and it's 2-1. Blauser continues to struggle a little bit. Got a base hit last night, but he is only 4 for his last 38. Up and in, and it's 3-1.
Jeff Shaw up in the Montreal bullpen.
Comebacker and a base hit. Blauser drives it right back up the middle. 4th hit of the day for the Braves.
Braves have had base runners in every inning. That's the 4th hit off of Facero.
It'll put Blauser at first. It'll bring up Ron Gant. Gant got a single in the first inning. Talk to some of the people around the Expos organization who, for obvious reasons, would like to remain nameless. They say every time a thrown ball, it can be an adventure in the infield here. First one against a strike, and it's 0-1, and we've seen them have a little trouble hanging on to it.
Well, Cordero at short has had some throwing problems lately. They've had trouble at first base all year. They really haven't had a natural first baseman until White came up. They were using outfielders, and even a third baseman, Frank Bolick, playing some first once in a while.
Wasn't Archie Cianfranco a first baseman?
He played some first, some third.
To left field, headed for the corner. Gone. Braves lead it.
Looked like he had to reach a little bit for this pitch. He did. It was down and away. And Gant went out after it. He picks up his 27th homer, and he's now driven in 73 runs.
And the Braves lead it 3-1. That's only the 5th home run allowed by Facero, and it'll bring up Fred McGriff. He's taken high, and it's 1-0.
Take another look at the home run cut by Ron Gant. This was not a classic home run swing. Pitch is down and away. Gant went out there and got it. He's so strong and generates such great bat speed that he was still able to pull that ball down the line and over the wall.
It's the first lead the Braves have had in this series since the 3rd inning on Friday night. It's 3-0 to McGriff. Home run number 27 for Gant. He has all 3 of the RBIs today. There's ball 4 to McGriff. He'll trot down to first base. That's the 4th base on ball issued by Facero. It'll bring up Terry Pendleton. And Philippe Ballou asking down in the bullpen if Shaw is ready, and he gets the universal sign, which is the cap being lifted by the bullpen coach. He's going to make his way to the home plate area. He's going to first talk to Rich Riker. That normally means there's a double switch in the offing. We didn't see anybody else warming up other than Shaw.
Looks like Derek White is coming out of the game at first. And I think Frank Bolick is getting ready to come in down in the Montreal dugout.
Bolick is putting on his sunglasses down in the dugout. There goes White headed for the dugout. Shaw making his way in. And that is the way it is. It's 3-1 Braves, and we'll be right back. As we surmised, Frank Bolick has come on. He's going to play first base. He will bat in the 9th spot. The new Expo pitcher, right-hander Jeff Shaw. Shaw out of Washington Courthouse, Ohio. You see his numbers. This will be his 38th ball game. He has been a reliever for most of them. He does have 8 starts, 75 innings, 37 strikeouts. The league hitting an even 250 against Jeff Shaw. Shaw is one of those guys, when we were looking him up the first time we saw it, there seemed to be a gap in his career. We could see he was picked by Cleveland in the 1st round. First player overall in 1986 in the January part of it. But in the notes it said he was acquired from Kansas City by Montreal. We found out he was released by Cleveland. Kansas City signed him. And then shortly after signing him, traded him with Tim Spear for Mark Gardner and another pitcher, and I can't remember who it was. A 2-for-2 trade. He'll face Terry Pendleton to lead it off. Doug Pyatt was the 4th player. Pendleton flies it to left field. Ballou was shaded there. First pitch swinging. Pendleton is gone. 2 outs in the inning.
How about those shades that Moises Alou is wearing out there?
Maybe it helped him, but can I ask you, did you see where that ball went? Did you see it from the get-go?
Yeah. Did you lose it?
Yes. Those are very colorful. Maybe that's the key. Here's David Justice. David 1 out of 2, a single and a strikeout. He did go around. The call made by Larry Poncino down at 3rd. Jeff Shaw, 6'2", 185 pounds. Just turned 27. That'll get out of play, and it's 0-2. His repertoire features a rapidi, a glissante, and a fronde. Fastball, slider, and a split-fingered fastball. No, I got the English part right, but I'm not sure about the French.
Which is the split finger pitch, the fronde?
The fronde, yeah.
It's a little easier to say than split finger, isn't it?
I think so. There must be something about first over there because it looked like Bolick had a little trouble picking that ball up and hanging on to the throw. Justice stays alive, barely. No balls, 2 strikes. The Braves with 2 here in the 5th inning on Ron Gant's 27th homer, taking a 3-1 lead. Just off the corner, 1-2. Another throw to first. And again, McGriff, about a step and a half off, made it back easily. I've noticed since some of those throws have bounced away and gone down the line, some of the Braves base runners go back in ducking now. McGriff kind of turns the right shoulder to him. In case you're wondering, Fred is 4 out of 7 in stolen base attempts. To left field. On the run is Alou. Sunglasses sparkling. He makes the catch. That'll wrap up the 5th inning for the Braves, but not before they put 2 on the board. They do it on Gant's homer. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 left. 5 in the books. It's the Braves on top, 3-1.
The 75th annual PGA Championship begins this Thursday, and TBS will be there with coverage of all 4 rounds. Bob Neal, Bobby Clampett, Donna Capone, Craig Sager will bring you all the action from the Inverness Country Club in Toledo, Ohio. It begins this Thursday at noon on TBS.
Sorry about that, Pete. 16.5 hours of coverage, huh?
That is correct.
Craig Bolick is going to lead it off here in the 6th inning. Remember, they made the double switch that put Shaw in the 7th spot, Bolick in the 9th, and he takes ball 1 inside. We get to see him a lot in spring training. The Expos and the Braves share Municipal Stadium there in West Palm Beach. And so we get to see an awful lot of all of these Expos, but he was one of the guys that got an extra lot of playing time. 1-1 to Bolick. Make it 1-2. Good pitch on the outside corner. Just off the corner. It's 2-2. Another good crowd here at Atlanta. If it's not a sellout, it's bordering on it. To right field, Justice has got a bead on it. Without the sunglasses, he makes the play. 1 gone.
We mentioned that PGA tournament coming up. I worked in Toledo for a couple of years, and in 1973 covered the U.S. Amateur Golf Championships at Inverness Country Club. Won that year by Craig Stadler.
That is supposed to be a tremendous golf course.
It's a terrific course.
Well, you don't get events like the PGA, the U.S. Open, without having good courses. But terrific standards that are used. DeShields is the next hitter. He is 1 out of 2. He sold. He singled in the 3rd, stole 2nd, got thrown out trying to steal 3rd. To center field. Plenty of time and plenty of room for Otis Nixon. Conventional sunglasses gleaming. He makes the catch and 2 out. Did you enjoy covering golf?
Yeah.
It's a great sport. We had Tom McAllister, who is the sports writer for the, or golf writer for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution on our radio pregame show. Some interesting conversation with him.
You know what the very first golf coverage I ever did was?
No.
On radio. The BC Open up in Binghamton, that's actually Endicott, New York, at the Enjoy Country Club, started out as a satellite tournament to the Cleveland Open. The guys that didn't make the cut in the Cleveland Open would play Saturday and Sunday at the BC Open when it first started. And we used to do radio coverage, 1 5-minute report every half hour.
Did you whisper?
Starting at 7 o'clock in the morning until completion of play.
1-1 to Sean Berry. Did you whisper?
We had guys on the last 3 holes, just like they do on television, early television. They just covered the last 3. We had somebody at each, the 16th, 17th, and 18th green. I was back at the scoreboard on radio, golf on radio.
That's out of play, and it's 1-2.
Johnny Hart, the cartoonist that draws BC, is the man behind the BC Open. It's become a regular full-fledged stop on the tour now.
And a very popular one with all the 2 PGA players. To center field. Long run for Nixon. He's at the wall, and it's off the wall. Extra bases for Berry. He's going to try for 3. He does sliding. It's a 2-out triple for Berry. Good job of backing up out there by Ron Gant. And that time, Otis Nixon unable to come down with the miracle.
This ball almost got out of here. Otis checked that wall to find out where he was. Right off the top of the wall, just off to the left of his glove.
That within a foot or so of getting out of here. Second career triple for Sean Berry. His other one came back in 1990. Tough out at the plate now, Marquise Grissom. He is 0 for 2, but he has scored a run. Got on a fielder's choice in the first inning, swiped second, came home on Walker's single. 3-1 Braves. Good change up from Avery. Count 1-1. Just misses, and it's 2-1. Hammered. That ball had a tough time of deciding whether it wanted to take a bite out of Jerry Manuel or Sean Berry, and almost got them both.
Looked like a bowler picking up the 3-10 split.
You can bet they won't take their eye off Marquise Grissom. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Really no picnic facing Walker, the left-handed hitter. He hits lefties well. To center field, but Nixon was shaded there. Makes the catch, and that'll wrap up the 6th inning. Expos give a few hearts a little pitter-patter. They get the 2-out triple from Berry, but Avery leaves him stranded. We played 5.5 in Atlanta. Ray still hanging on to a 3-1 lead.
It's 3-1 Atlanta as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Time to check out today's Aflac trivia question. Good one for you today. Who's the only player this century They hit a grand slam in their first major league game, and it happened in 1968.
Ooh, Hal Galima really going into the archives for this one. Do you have that one?
I don't.
Well, that's a good one if you can stump the professor. Braves lead at 3-1. It's got to be Greg Olson, Mark Lemke, and then the pitcher spot due up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-5-1 for the Braves, 1-3-2 for the Expos. Olson with one of those hits. Takes ball one down and away. Slow roller to third. Berry throws out Olson. One gone. Here comes Mark Lemke. Lemke hitless today, but he did draw a base on ball back in the 4th inning. Braves have had base runners in every inning. They got an error and a single in the 1st that put 2 on. They got a single out of Olsen in the 2nd. A couple of walks in the 3rd. Base hit and a walk in the 4th. Base hit, a walk, and a homer in the 5th. Down the left side and out of play. It's 0-1. See, on times like this when it's hard to follow the ball, I've learned a lot from you, but one of them is don't try to watch the ball, watch the fielders.
During the day.
If they're not moving, you figure it's in the stands. There's a strike to Lemke. It's 0-2.
It's easier when there's real grass. It's really tough on day games on a faded turf.
How about in Montreal and in Pittsburgh or a couple of places?
St. Louis used to be the worst.
Perfect pitch. A 1-2-3 U-turn for Lemke. Shaw rings up his first strikeout.
He didn't waste any time. Set up on the outside corner with Siddle. Shaw hit the target. Called strike 3.
Here comes Avery, and a nice round of applause for Steve. He's pitched himself a good one. Not so fortunate at bat. He's grounded to short, and he struck out swinging. Pops this one up. In the neighborhood of shallow left field, I think. Lou is there, and he's got it. It's an easy inning for Shaw. He has set down 5 in a row since he's come on. Braves go 1-2-3, 5 in the books. Or make that 6 in the books, and the Braves are leading it 3-1.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. To remind you, friends know when to say when.
3-1 as we go to the 7th. And we go to Pete Van Weren for the play-by-play.
Okay, Don, thank you. It'll be Larry Walker leading it off. He is singled and struck out. We'll give you the answer to our Aflac trivia question right after Walker hits. And he fouls off the first one, 0-1. Walker now with a 10-game hitting streak, right at 280 for the year.
I'm guessing it's not Tito Fuentes.
The grand slam home run in his first major league game. 1-1 the count on Walker. Taken low, 2-1. Walker, Alou, and Cordero due up here in the 7th. Braves leading at 3-1, trying to avoid the sweep. And it goes to 3-1 now on Walker. In the air and deep to left center field. Nixon back to the wall. It's going to be out of here. Home run. Walker. It's 3-2. Walker's 15th homer and 57th RBI of the year. And he showed you some of his good power to left center with that swing.
He showed you a swing also similar to that of Fred McGriff, a guy who waits back, stays on that back leg, doesn't commit early, therefore he is not intimidated by left-handers. And anytime you allow him to extend those big arms, he can drive it out to left center field. Olsen wants the ball away. It's there, but down and out over the plate. He just dropped the head of the bat on it. Backspin, and it just kept carrying.
So it is now a 1-run Atlanta lead. The batter will be Moises Alou. Goes it into a 6-4 force play and fly to right. Up the middle, base hit center field. And not a good start to the top half of the 7th inning.
A refresher as to what our Aflac trivia question was. The only player this century to hit a grand slam in their first major league game, we have collectively agreed on Bobby Bonds.
Yes. Nice going.
I think I witnessed that one from a distance in the clubhouse eating.
Here's Will Cordero 0 for 2. We're going to get some bullpen activity now for Atlanta. There's the bunt back toward Avery. Lemke covers. Down to second goes Alou. On the 1-4 sacrificed by Cordero. 1 gone in the 7th inning. Marvin Freeman getting up in the Atlanta bullpen.
Felipe Alou had a choice to make there. As successful as the Expos have been at stealing bases against the Braves, he could have taken a shot at letting Moises Alou steal second and then have Cordero move him to third, but he chose to play it safe, to take what should be the sure route and sacrifice him over.
So a runner at second, one down in a one-run game, and the pinch hitter for the pitcher will be Lou Frazier. Normally, a young player who's used to being an everyday player comes up to the major leagues and has a great deal of difficulty if they try to use him as a pinch hitter a lot of the time. But Lou Frazier has not had any difficulty at all adjusting to that role. He's been the most frequently used pinch hitter by the Montreal Expos. He's hitting .315 for the year and 10 for 34 as a pinch hitter.
I'll bet he's an easygoing type guy. Probably takes his bats with him.
Good block by Olson to keep the runner at second. Ball one the count on Frazier.
Usually the personality that is a good one to be successful as a pinch hitter is a patient guy, a pretty disciplined guy, a guy who doesn't mind getting his work away from the playing field, but he's able to turn it on and go up and hit high level competitively right away.
Pickoff play on back at second. Getting back safely is Alou. Frazier, a switch hitter, and he's hit very well on both sides. .325 right-handed, .311 left-handed. Now to play, it's even, 1 ball, 1 strike on Lou Frazier. Frazier was in the Detroit Tigers organization, playing Double-A ball last year.
How did he hit at the Double-A level?
Only .252, and that was one of his higher minor league batting averages. That's why this transition to become a .300 pinch hitter, very unusual. His best batting average in the minor leagues, he was originally signed by Houston. The very first year he played, he had .287 in the Gulf Coast League. His other minor league averages, .258, .235, .231, .219, .239, and .252. The 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
You know, Pete, we got a shot a little bit earlier. Marvin Freeman starting to warm up in the bullpen. McMichael's only worked an inning last night. Wolters only worked an inning. Marvin coming back from rehab from an injury. I'm a little surprised to see him up in a one-run ball game. You know, I thought maybe you'd get a game where there was a little cushion to play with for him to get back out there.
Broken bat pop toward first baseman Fred McGriff. And that's out number 2 here in the 7th.
Not necessarily bad wood. Could have been a good pitch. Avery has made some good pitches today. Actually, I feel like the only mistake he's made has been on the home run to Walker. That way in on the fist. Close enough, he may have some splinters in his left hand.
Now we're going to get another pinch hitter, Mike Lansing, to bat for Joe Siddall. Lansing hitting .277 for the year with 3 homers and 31 runs driven in. Two men out, a runner at second. Braves leading at 3-2. We are in the top of the 7th. It's 0-2 on Lansing. Lansing has not been used as a pinch hitter very often, just 1 for 2 in this role. Out toward Lemke. He'll have a long throw to make, but he gets it to McGriff in plenty of time, and that'll do it for the Expos in the 7th. They get a run closer, a Larry Walker home run. We go to the bottom half of inning 7, 3-2 Atlanta. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Atlanta leading at 3-2. A couple of changes for Montreal. They have a new catcher, Tim Laker. He'll be batting 7th. And the new pitcher is left-hander Brian Barnes. Barnes will be batting 8th. 2 and 5, 4.41 earned run average, 37 games. He and Facero reversed roles. Barnes was in the starting rotation for a while. And then he moved out to the bullpen, and Facero became a starter. League's hitting .269 against Brian Barnes. Barnes replacing Jeff Shaw, who worked an inning in 2/3, all zeros except for 1 strikeout. And Otis Nixon will lead off here in the bottom half of inning 7. Otis 0 for 2 with a walk. First pitch coming to Nixon, and it's taken low, ball 1. Mark Wohler is up now in the Atlanta bullpen. That caught the corner, count even. 1 ball, 1 strike on Nixon. Two and 1 the count now on Otis. That catches the inside corner, 2 and 2. Barnes on the smallish side. He's only 5'9", 170 pounds. Lives in Smyrna. It's a suburb here in Atlanta. Good curveball out of Clemson University. That's all for Otis Nixon.
And there was that curveball you were talking about. His curveball is good enough, Pete. Normally, when you're talking to kids and you're talking to people about throwing curveballs, you say start it out low, let it break down below the strike zone. Watch this one. It starts out about letter high, and there's not a whole lot Otis can do with it. It's got enough break on it that he misses it by a good 2 or 3 inches. Swings right over the top of it.
That's the first out here in the bottom of the 7th. Now Jeff Blauser, who slid to center, walked and singled. Taking ball 1 low and outside.
You really don't see that many good downer curveballs anymore, and I think there's a reason for it. And I think right now most guys want to be able to get people out fairly quickly, and you can do that with a sinker, slider, or any short little breaking ball. A curveball, you got to work your fanny off to have a good one. I think it's the hardest pitch to throw consistently over and over, and it's easier to teach somebody just to get somebody out rather than to teach them a curveball.
And it seems that when you talk to a lot of guys who do have good curveballs, like a Paul Ossenmacher, for example, it's usually a pitch that, yes, they've worked on it a lot, but it was also a pitch that they picked up very early in their career. And it came kind of naturally to him. 3 and 1.
You look at the style of deliveries, too. Not everybody can throw one. Barnes, if you watch his leg, his front leg, it'll land a little stiff on it. A guy who throws on a soft front leg can't throw a downer curveball very effectively.
Fouled back by Blauser. 3 and 2 the count.
Because if you're a power pitcher, most of the time you throw against and through that front knee. If you're a breaking ball pitcher who has a good big breaking ball and a sharp one, you throw over the top of it. Barnes will flex it a little, but then he straightens up and his momentum carries him right over the top of it.
Here's the 3-2 now to Blauser. Got him outside corner. Second strikeout of the inning for Brian Barnes. Jeff didn't agree with the call by Rich Rieker.
Watch his delivery. Even on the fastball, he throws over that front leg. It goes down soft, then straightens up. His momentum carries him over the top of it. Good leverage, good follow through, and a perfect spot for this fastball on Blauser. Above the knees on the inside corner.
2 gone for Ron Gant, who's driven in all 3 Atlanta runs today. One with a ground out in the third, one with a 2-run homer in the fifth, his 27th homer of the year. A ball low, 1-0.
That's a beautiful curveball.
That one misses low. 2-0 the count now on Ron Gant.
There are some organizations who would take a Brian Barnes and tell him, we don't teach that here. Each organization has its own philosophy, and a lot of times they get locked into doing it one way. That's why you see some organizations who will have good curveballers and others who don't.
2-1 the count now on Gant.
I believe the Braves' basic philosophy is to throw on a soft front leg. And if you look, most of the Braves pitchers do have some sort of swerve or slurve, but all of the Braves pitchers can change speeds well.
Two men out, base is empty. And the 2-1 pitch on the way to Ron Gant. Right down the middle for a called strike, 2-2. Three runs, 5 hits for Atlanta. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Expos. Bottom half of the 7th inning, 2 outs, bases empty. And here's the 2-2 pitch to Ron Gant. There's the breaking ball, and Brian Barnes strikes out the side. He got Nixon swinging, at Blauser and Gant looking. And it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the 7th for the Braves. After 7 complete, still 3-2 Atlanta.
Let's take a peek at the Delta scoreboard. There in the 6th inning in New York, Murray has homered for the Mets. About halfway through that one in St. Louis, tied. The rest of the action later on. The pitching matchup you might be interested in, Sanford for Houston against Brocale for San Francisco. That cannot be right. It's got to be Portugal against Hickerson. Portugal against Hickerson there. Here's your American League action right there. McLemore a homer for Baltimore. Felder a homer for Detroit. And page 2 has the scores that you see there. A couple of games later on tonight. For all the scores and highlights, be sure to watch CNN Sports Sunday 7:30 with Vince Cellini and Van Earl Wright.
We go to the 8th inning. Mark Wohler is the new Atlanta pitcher, taking over for Steve Avery, and Frank Bullock leads it off and takes high, ball 1. Avery worked 7 innings, allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of them earned. Did not walk anyone, and struck out 4. The count now on Bullock. Mike Stanton, Steve Bedrosian have gotten up in the Braves bullpen. Wohler's ERA took a little hit earlier on this homestand. He gave up 4 runs in the 9th inning 2 nights ago. ERA jumped over 3. It's right at 3.33 now. There's a strike, 2-1.
This is an entirely different Mark Wohlers than we've watched the last couple of years. I think confidence-wise and stuff-wise, his fastball, I didn't think it was possible for it to get any quicker. But not only does it seem like it's picked up a little bit velocity-wise, but remember the talk about Mark Wohlers before was he throws hard but no movement. Boy, it has
There's
some
movement
giddy
now.
up and some movement.
2-2 the count on Frank Bullock. That'll be out of play. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And I got to confess, too, when the conversation was about teaching him a split-finger fastball, my first thought was that's kind of like teaching Michelangelo to paint cars. But he is one that has picked it up and has become a good second pitch for Mark Wohlers.
Here's the 2-2 to Bullock. Low and inside, 3-2. That'll be out of play. Still a 3-2 count. Wohler's just 23 years old. He's a guy that was groomed almost from the start to be a relief pitcher. He began his career in 1988 with Atlanta, was a starting pitcher in 88 and 89, and 1990 at the Class A level. They made a reliever out of him. Into center field. That'll fall for a base hit for Frank Bolick. That's hit number 6 for Montreal. Back to the top of the order now, and Delino DeShields. DeShields 1 for 3. He had a single back in the third. Terry Pendleton expecting bunt. He's come in a couple of steps in the grass at third.
That throw might just have been a token throw to see if they could get DeShields to tip it off. Kind of goes against the conventional game plan, doesn't it? It says normally you play to tie at home, you play to win on the road.
Well, we'll see what Felipe Alou has decided here. He is not scoring. Took a strike in the outside corner. Crowd today of 48,710. And that puts the Braves over the 2.7 million mark.
You see that happen a lot, Pete. Guys who seem to see the ball better in day games. Almost 100 points of difference. It's as big a one as I can recall recently.
More signs flashed by Jerry Manuel. Speaking of coaches, a little story to tell you about the Houston Astros. There's the bunt by DeShields, fielded by Wohlers. He'll go to first. McGriff stayed there to take the throw. It's a 1-3 sacrifice, moving Bolick down to second base. Remember that series the Braves were involved in Houston last weekend? Some of the conservative coaching at third by Tom Spencer. They've moved him. He is no longer their third base coach. He's now coaching first for the Astros.
Who did they replace him with?
Matt Galante went over to third. There was one particular instance when Luis Gonzalez ran through a stop sign at third base, wound up scoring a run, and was obviously upset when he got back to the Houston dugout that his third base coach was trying to stop him at that particular moment. And we really got some good shots of Gonzalez in the dugout.
We also had a shot of him rounding third, watching the play too, and then looking back with almost an astounded look on his face as he saw the stop sign.
Sean Berry's triple in the 6th inning almost got out of here. Hit right off the top of the wall in left center field. And that one almost hit him. 1 ball, no strikes.
That came so close, and the heat off of it may have singed the hair on his arm. That's about as close as you could get. Did you see him take a look afterwards to make sure it didn't get him? Trust me, if that one even nicks you, you'd know it. That's the movement we were talking about before. Before, that wouldn't have even come close. It would have been straight, but that one jumped in by about 4 or 5 inches.
Back to the screen, count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's turned out to be a good trade for both clubs. Berry coming over to Montreal in a 4-player deal with Kansas City. And Chris Haney, one of those that Kansas City got in that trade, has become a dependable starting pitcher for them. Two and 1 the count now, and Sean Berry. Inside corner, 2 and 2. One man out. Bolick the runner at second. A 1-run Atlanta lead. We're in the 8th. Stays alive, 2 and 2. Marquise Grissom on deck. Did he go? No, says Bob Davidson. The count full, 3-2.
That was the right call, too. Watch him check his swing. Tries to commit, but nope, he didn't roll that over. That's a good call.
Now the 3-2 on the way, and he walked him. Berry down to first on the walk from Wohlers. First walk issued by Braves pitching today. First and second, one out, and that'll bring up Marquise Grissom. Expos winning the first 2 games in this series. They still feel they have a shot at the Philadelphia Phillies, and they play the Philadelphia Phillies in their next series. So they would like nothing better, of course, than to complete the sweep here and have that momentum going into Philadelphia. They're 10 games out. They're actually as close as the Braves are. Braves are 9.5 out. There's very little difference there. One difference is they've got one team besides Philadelphia ahead of them in the St. Louis Cardinals.
It may seem like an insignificant thing to a lot of people, but when you have somebody to climb over, you're actually almost better off being 9 back in second than you are being 7 or 8 back in third, because most of the time when you're winning, or some of the time, the guy in front of you is going to be doing the same thing.
Well, here comes Grissom with runners first and second, one out. Grissom 0 for 3 today. He was one of the heroes last night, going 3 for 5. Good fastball there. 0-1 on Grissom. Gets the breaking ball in. It's 0-2.
Good spot for that pitch. Good count. Good thing to do with it, too. Normally, when you get a strike on a guy, when you throw as hard as Wohlers and you get a strike with the fastball, especially when you throw it by somebody, if you're going to back it with a breaking ball, best thing you do is just throw it for a strike. Most guys are going to take it like Grissom did.
That one got Olson. He'll walk it off. Still 0-2 on Marquise Grissom.
Good fastball. Runs in on him. Fouls it. May have caught the inside of his thigh. Then again, Greg may not be doing the cha-cha for a day or two.
From this angle, oh, right off the kneecap.
And it's padded there, but that's not the hard part of the shin guard that's down below about the shin. A little more flexible there, and he felt the impact from that one.
Still 0-2 on Grissom. Good high fastball. Strikes out Marquise Grissom. Out number 2 here in the 8th. And now with Larry Walker coming up, we're going to get the left-hander Mike Stanton in the game.
Good fastball, good spot, up and away. And this is a move. It's a good thing you don't poll the public to see whether or not you make it.
Obviously, Mike Stanton's been struggling lately, and the crowd not agreeing with this move. They give Wohlers a hand. But it'll be Mike Stanton facing Larry Walker. Runners first and second, 2 men out, and we'll be back. First and second, 2 men out with Larry Walker coming to the plate. Mike Stanton, the new pitcher, making appearance number 48 on the year. If you've been watching the Braves lately, you know that Mike has been struggling. His ERA has soared to 4.54. I will give Mike Stanton credit for one thing. A lot of pitchers, or everyday players for that matter, going through what he's been going through lately. and he's been scored on in 6 of his last 7 relief appearances. ERA over 16 for his last 7 relief appearances. Would kind of hide from the media. But not Mike. He was very openly talking about his problems with the media last night after the game. A lot of those interviews aired on radio here in the Atlanta area this morning, and he's very honest about it. He said he's been through spots like this before, and all you can do is just keep taking the ball and going out there and trying to pitch your way out of it. And he's sure he will pitch out of it. But a lot of times you go in looking for a player who lost a game like Mike did last night, and you can't find him in that locker room. Here's Larry Walker. He's driven in both Montreal runs today. A single, a home run, a strikeout. 2 RBIs. Strike in the outside corner, 0-1. The home run came off Steve Avery, and that was the first home run given up by Avery to a left-hand hitter all year.
Walker's a guy who hits lefties well, especially if you leave it on the outer half of the plate. Either got to get him to chase something off the plate or come way in on him.
Missing low and inside, 1-1.
Sooner or later with a guy like Walker, Pete, you have to make him inside conscious. You've got to put something in on his hands just to make him aware that you can get in there. That'll slow him down from diving in and covering the outer half of the plate.
It goes to 2-1. Moises Alou on deck. It's even, 2-2 on Walker.
Perfect spot. Breaking ball that starts over the plate but goes down and away. That's one, if you leave in the strike zone, he'll hammer it. You can see there's not a whole lot of drop-off when you run a lefty against him.
And there never has been.
He's a lot like McGriff, Mark Grace.
Still 2-2. I'll bet the numbers were very close last year, too. Let's look. Last year, he hit better against left-hand pitching. 292 against righties, 316 against lefties. Two and two on Larry Walker.
Stanton appeared not to be comfortable either with the call or with his grip. Olson noticed that when he stepped off. This is a smart thing to do right here. The game is on the line. The tying runs at second. The go-ahead run at first. There's absolutely no reason in the world to have any amount of uncertainty before you throw the ball. There's no time clock.
Ready for another 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. And he's run it full. 3-2 now on Larry Walker. This will give the runners a jump.
Temptation here is to try to get him with a breaking ball, make him chase it if you do.
High and deep to left center field. Nixon's going to have a play on it, though, on the edge of the warning track for out number 3. Expos got a couple of base runners, but Mike Stanton came on to get Larry Walker. And we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. It's still 3-2 Atlanta.
Tonight on TBS, Raymond Burr is the legendary lawyer Perry Mason. Our case tonight involves a law school murder, and it's called The Case of the Lethal Lesson. Perry Mason Sunday tonight at 7 o'clock on TBS.
Fred McGriff will lead off here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Then Terry Pendleton, then David Justice. Braves up by 1. McGriff has grounded into a double play, flied out and walked. He just missed winning the ball game for Atlanta in the bottom of the 10th last night. Driving Alou right to the base of the wall and right. Takes a strike, 0-1.
I thought he'd gotten it.
That's high in the air to right center. Took a while for that one to come down. Walker making the catch, 1 gone. And here comes Terry Pendleton. Greg McMichael and Marvin Freeman have gotten up in the Atlanta bullpen. Pendleton 0 for 3. He's fouled out to right, struck out, and fly to left. Ball one low. Jeff Shaw and Brian Barnes combined have retired 9 straight since taking over for Jeff Fassero. 1-1 the count now on Pendleton. Due up in the 9th inning for the Expos. Alou, Cordero, and the pitcher's spot. Or correction, that's Laker hitting in the number 7 spot now. A ball and 2 strikes. Barnes still has that good curveball working here in the 8th.
He has the equipment to be made into a starting pitcher if they wanted to.
Oh, he has started.
And left out there regularly. By that I mean he has the curveball, he has a changeup, and he has the fastball. Normally a reliever is a 2-pitch pitcher, a starter 3 or more.
Tap toward third. Sean Berry fields. Over to Bullock in time. That's 10 straight retired by the Expos bullpen. And here comes David Justice. Justice 1 for 3, had a single back in the 4th. Two 2-0 the count on Justice. And it goes to 3-0. No game tomorrow. We'll be in New York on Tuesday. Tom Glavine against Eric Hillman. Justice walks on 4 straight. Now Greg Olson is 1 for 3 and an infield hit back in the 2nd.
Outside of Otis Nixon and Deion Sanders, David Justice draws more throws at first than any other guy in the lineup.
And rarely runs. 0-1 the count on Olson. In fact, Justice doesn't usually get a very big lead.
You know, he's usually about 2 steps off, and I guarantee he draws twice as many throws as some of the other guys.
He has attempted 8 stolen bases this year, but he's been successful only 3 times. Outside corner, 0-2.
Barnes used that breaking ball out there much like Greg Maddux uses his changeup. Started off the plate, let it come back over the plate. What you're looking for is not for a guy to hit that, but to take it, and Olson did.
Here's the 0-2. Looped foul up into the crowd. It remains 0-2 on Greg Olson.
Is it Nolan Ryan Day here at the park?
That's all for Olson. That's all for Atlanta. 4th strikeout for Brian Barnes in 2 innings of work. We go to the 9th inning. It'll be Greg McMichael coming on to try to save it for Steve Avery. We are going to the top of the 9th. Braves trying to win 1 in this series. They lead 3-2. We've got a couple of changes. Damon Berryhill now catching and batting 9th for Atlanta. And the new pitcher batting in the number 7 spot, Greg McMichael, trying to record his 5th save, making his 50th appearance of the year. And I think, Don, I got my first tip today that Greg finally feels comfortable in the major leagues.
And
his wife and child were just a little bit late getting down to the field for the family game. They were about to take the picture of all the players and their families. And Greg said, that's okay, I'll be in the one next year. He finally feels like a major leaguer. And he ought to, the way he has performed. Low ball 1 to Moises Alou. Alou 1 for 3.
Easy guy to root for, isn't he?
Yes, he is. One and 1 the count now on Alou.
Circle change. Watch it turn over. Starts it off the plate. Goes straight down. Good motion. His delivery adds to the deception.
Didn't mean to. McGriff will have to throw to McMichael covering. Close play, but in time. That play got a little out of sync, but McGriff and McMichael able to finish it off, and there's 1 out in the 9th inning.
Greg helped that play out by not hesitating. He gave McGriff a chance to boot it, pick it up, and then throw, because Greg already had the jump, but he had to hot-foot it over there, because from the right-handed batter's box, I tell you, Lou gets down the line in a hurry.
Now Will Cordero, 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. One ball, no strikes. And the count even on Cordero now, 1-1. One and 2 now on Cordero.
You know, part of it is his stuff, but you've heard us talk about his motion. It's a little bit of a herky-jerky motion, almost squirts the ball up there rather than taking the full drop with the arm and throwing it. And you just don't see guys taking a lot of comfortable swings against him. Some guys walk up there and they just unbutton their shirt and hack, but they don't do that very often against Greg McMichael.
Back in 1990, when he was still in the Cleveland organization, he was a teammate of today's starting pitcher from Montreal, Jeff Facero. They both pitched at Canton. Tapped right back to McMichael. 2 men gone, 9th inning.
Off the end of the bat, another semi-awkward swing, down and away, one hand on it. The 3-1 combination is working well here. 3-1 for the first put out, 1-3 for the second.
Now we're getting a pinch hitter, John Vanderwall, batting for Laker. Let's see how he's done as a pinch hitter this year. 3 out of 15. 2 outs, 9th inning. McMichael needs 1 more to get the Braves back in the win column. Ball 1 high. Oh! 2-0 the count. There's a strike, 2-1. Darren Fletcher has moved to the on-deck circle. Vanderwall's batting for Laker. The pitcher's spot due up next. And it goes to 3-1 on Vanderwall. Mel Rojas working in the Expo bullpen just in case Montreal ties this ball game up or takes the lead. And Vanderwall keeps it going. A base hit to left field with 2 outs. Now Darren Fletcher batting for Brian Barnes. Fletcher, 268 for the year. He's 6 out of 12 as a pinch hitter. He has 1 pinch hit home run and 5 RBIs in this role. A runner at first, 2 men out. 9th inning, Braves leading by 1.
One of the things young players don't learn, or it takes a little while longer to learn, Pete, is situational baseball. Playing defense in this situation, what you want to guard against is the extra base hit. With that in mind, the Braves outfielder is very deep. Look how deep Gant is, straight away in left. Nixon deep, almost dead straight away in center. Justice deep in right field. Lemke back near the edge of the grass. The single will prolong the inning, obviously, but the double will tie the ball game. So that's something that only experience can teach you, and it takes some young players a while to pick it up.
Here's the 1-0. Inside corner. Evens the count. 1-1 on Fletcher.
There's more to it than just catching it and throwing it, and the way you do it changes as the game progresses. There's that change up, starts up high, drops right in about belt high.
Here's the 1-1. In the air to right. Long run for David Justice. Still coming in foul territory. Makes the catch, and the Braves win it. David Justice leaving his feet, and Greg McMichael saves it for Steve Avery, and the Braves snap their 3-game losing streak. Final score: Atlanta 3, Montreal 2. Back with a wrap-up right after this.
'93 Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By Delta Airlines, the official airline of the Atlanta Braves. At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows. By Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide. And by Coca-Cola Classic, always a big hit, always Coca-Cola.
Braves salvage the 3rd game of the series by a 3-2 score. They do it with good hitting, with good pitching, and good defense, like the last out of the ball game. Justice deep to try to save the extra base hit. A long run, last second, stretching into foul territory, coming up with the ball. A great defensive play by David Justice. Final score, Braves win at 3-2. For the Braves, 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. They stranded 7. For the Expos, 2-7-2. They stranded 6. Avery went 7 good innings, striking out 4, not walking anybody. He has a dozen wins. He's 12-4. Pissarro pitched well, but he came up on the short end. He is now 7-2. McMichael gave up the 1 hit in the 9th inning, but he picked up his 5th save. All of the runs driven in by Ron Gant. 2 of them coming with 1 swing of the bat with 1 out in the 6th inning. Gant, a tee shot to left field. And for his good offensive day at the plate, 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, his 27th homer. Ron Gant is our Armor All Protected player of the game. Braves win it 3-2.
Braves have the day off tomorrow. We're back with you on Tuesday night from Shea Stadium, 1st of 3 with the New York Mets. It'll be Tom Glavine going for his 14th win. Eric Hillman on the mound for New York. We'll have it for you 7:35 Eastern Time. Don't forget, later tonight, 7 o'clock on TBS Eastern Time, Perry Mason Sunday continues with the case of the lethal lesson. Until Tuesday, for Don Sutton, Skip Carey, Joe Simpson, our entire TBS crew, Pete Van Weren from the ballpark in Atlanta. Final score, Braves 3, Expos 2. Braves remain 10 games back in the loss column behind the Giants. So long, everyone.